And we are live. Welcome everybody to a Red 5 Network little live chat here. Red 5 Live. Let's see who's going to join us tonight. But I just want to say happy Friday to everybody. Look at everybody look what the how's it going? Adam Justice and the salty Mandalorian. Oh, that was weird. Your internet is a little wacky there. It made your headphones magically disappear. How's it going, everybody?
Not bad. How you doing, Ro?
Pretty good, pretty good. Adam, we were just chatting a little while ago, but thanks for joining us. We got Justice too. How's it going, man?
Doing good. Just hanging out.
Excellent, excellent. And there's the handsome man right there, salty nerd. How's it going, Alex? He's getting
Hey,
set
what's up,
up, but
everybody?
there you go.
How you guys doing?
Hey, you got some fancy new digs there, huh?
This is my new studio. It's not quite done yet. I got to put some more soundproofing in, but yeah, this is it. I'm in my studio right now.
Awesome, awesome.
Nice.
Enjoyed watching the progress of that studio as you are building it. And I am in awe, my friend. Next, I think you got to work on your internet because we are at 3 frames a minute, but we'll work with that. How is everybody? Who's in the chat? Cam, of course. How's it going, Cam? Who else is in there? Mr. Rez. And who else is in there from a certain point of view?
That'd be me. There's Danny.
There's Danny. How's it going? Hi, everyone. Good evening. Happy Friday to all of you. So, what's been going on in the world of podcasting? Again, I just wanted to do a quick little hangout and see what everybody's up to. I know life has taken its toll this year, 2020. Everybody's going through something, but I just wanted to see if maybe tonight we can just kind of forget and chill and relax and talk amongst friends. And thank you guys for joining me. How's everybody? Adam, how's it going with you, man?
It's going great with me. In terms of podcasting, we're doing some behind the scenes shows, so we have one more of those. Two more of those for the original trilogy, and then we're gonna break away for a little bit and do some. We like to do our psychology of shows where we kind of just. Josh is a majored in psychology in college, so we kind of like to just pick apart their brains, the characters, and stuff like that. So we did part one of an Anakin Skywalker psychology episode, and we're going to do part two after we do the behind the scenes shows. So that's been what's going on for the next few weeks with us.
Those are a lot of fun. Brad and I like to dive deep into that sort of thing too. It's a lot of fun picking that apart. And psychology was it was the heaviest and most expensive book I bought in college, by the
way. Yeah, that tends to happen that way.
Yeah. And those are really fun episodes. Like I said, it's something that it's a lot different than just kind of like regurgitating news of the day. I really love those types of discussions.
It gets you kind of diving deeper into stuff, not just picking apart motivations and
exactly. Exactly.
It's a lot of fun.
So that's really cool. Looking forward to that. You said you're doing a part two.
Yeah. So first, we're doing the behind the scenes. Tomorrow, we'll be recording behind the scenes of Empire. Just kind of, we call this series "Thank the Maker," and it's just kind of like a high level behind the scenes look at stuff. And then so we'll be doing Empire, and then Jedi, and then after that, we'll be doing the part two of Anakin Skywalker psychology.
Awesome. Looking forward to that. Hey, Michael Tumet2 is in the chat, and Danny's watching the hockey game. Good for you guys. That's awesome. And so what's going on with you, Justice?
Today I was editing the part 2 of our Darth Vader one with pizza and parsecs.
Nice.
And still got some more editing to do, and then we have a couple more fun interviews coming up. Can't really talk about them yet because they're not confirmed, but they're some cool, maybe some stunt double and makeup artists. So, yeah, that's up the are down the road, and then we also are going to keep on doing our different segments where we try explaining by using like books and comics, like the different like quote unquote plot holes that happen in Star Wars. Then try showing people that like Star Wars does a really good job of answering these questions that people might have while watching the movies.
Sure. Yeah, that's cool. That's Pizza and Parsecs. They are a fun couple to talk to. Obviously, we've had a show with them on social issues in sci-fi, and they're a hoot. They're really a hoot. Love those guys.
Yeah, they're a ton of fun to talk to, and so I'm really excited for you guys to hear the Soul run for the Darth Vader series.
That's one of my favorite modern comics. I finished obviously that run a while ago, and looking forward to your examination. They're breaking apart the story there, so that's
Yeah,
pretty awesome.
I always tell people if they're trying to get into comics and Star Wars, that's the first place they should stop at.
Yeah, for sure. It gives us kind of a very interesting look at Darth Vader post the after the events of Revenge of the Sith and going forward. I love what Charles Soule did to that story. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Awesome. Looking forward to that. And last but not least, Mr. Salty Nerd. I just finished. I think I finished 2 of your episodes, but the last one with what is it? The religious fighting nun. What's her name?
Oh yeah, Warrior Nun.
The warrior nun. Yeah. You guys are cool
Yeah.
because you guys watch all the stuff that I'm thinking about watching, and then I'll listen to you. And I'm like, all right, forget it. I'm not gonna watch it.
No, yeah, no, I don't. I don't suggest wasting 10 episodes of that show on. It's an hour long. It's 10 hours of a show, and it's probably maybe 3 out of those 10 hours are like actual plot important episodes. So it was a bit of waste. It was rough.
Do you think that I know Kadish was talking about how they were already confirmed with a season 2? Do you think all that stuff is maybe set up for a second season? Maybe some of those characters might come back.
I hope so, because it seems like Netflix kind of does that with their shows. Like, for example, Umbrella Academy. I didn't like the first season at all. And from what I'm hearing right now, which I think we might end up doing a show about it, season 2 is way better than the first season. So I feel like Netflix lets these creators come in and kind of pitch their idea and do one season. And then the second season, they kind of come in and they say, okay, this is what the adjustments that we want you guys to make. Tighten the show up a little bit, and it seems to be a reoccurring thing with Netflix that season 2s are always better. So, I don't know. We'll see. I'm not super interested in it, but it's up to Kadish and Jude. I think it's more along their fandom. So, if they say the second season is good, we might revisit it, but we'll see.
I enjoyed the first season, but it did drag a little bit. Those Mary J. Blige character and then her counterpart, they seem to like whenever they were around, it was just the story kind of dragged. And you're right, Netflix seems to do that a lot. And I know because they're not constrained to like a certain time frame, like a half hour or like a 1 hour series each episode, that the writers have time to kind of flesh things out, but sometimes it's like too much.
Yeah.
And I can kind of see that with Umbrella Academy and some of the other shows. But I'm really digging season 2 of Umbrella Academy. I think I posted somewhere that I really want to see kind of like a behind the scenes of that show because it visually it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
You forget
it looks
you're watching like not a film. So
yeah, that's the good thing about Netflix is when they do back a project, they usually finance it really well. And I'm hoping the same thing is true of Witcher season 2, which is coming up. It's very popular, and I'm really hoping that Netflix writes a blank check for those guys because there's a lot of potential there for a lot better effects than what season 1 saw. But I understand season 1 is kind of the testing ground, so they weren't going to finance it that much. But with season 2 coming up, I'm really excited to see what they do with that because that has a lot of potential to be like a really, really big hit for them.
You didn't like season 1 of The Witcher?
I enjoyed it, but there were certain things that I thought could have been done a lot better, given maybe more time or a bigger budget. I think one of the biggest things for me was the one of the dragons in that show. Like that dragon looked awful.
Oh yeah.
And I was really hoping that there would be a uptick in budget so that they could kind of figure those things out.
And I know you, Alex, you and I were talking about The Witcher, the first season, and I was like really confused, and I didn't know until way later that they were using nonlinear storytelling. I just couldn't catch certain like clues that's what they were
Yeah,
doing,
yeah.
and it was just so confusing.
Apparently for season 2 they've completely dropped that whole like timeline
Wait, yeah.
jumping. Yeah, they're going for just a straightforward story, which I understand why they did it in the first season, but I'm glad that they're dropping it because it was very confusing. You didn't really, unless you were like really in depth paying attention to every little plot point, like you would completely miss it until much later into the season.
Well,
And
if you read the books and played the games too, that also
right, yeah, I was
would
going to
help.
say the
Yeah.
source material has a lot to do with that. Which I never read the book. I never played the game. The Witcher was like my first foray into that on Netflix. So, but I enjoyed it. I mean, from the get go, that first scene when he comes out with that creature and kills it in that
Yeah.
lake, that was pretty dope. And I think that's what kind of that's what caught me. That's what got me bringing back. But what else are you guys watching on streaming? What other kind of shows are you watching, Adam? Anything new?
Man, nothing new. I started rewatching well, not old, the Fox X-Men movies on Disney Plus since they're on there now, just because they're there. This week for me has been a lot of no TV, I guess. So
Yeah.
lately, I watched on Netflix. I watched Turn, which was an AMC, I believe, series about spies in the Revolutionary War era.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Really good show, really good
Turn?
drama. Yeah, Turn.
Awesome. One thing I know, you guys on the Salty Nerd podcast, you guys talk about all the different shows and all the different streaming services that are out there, and I know you guys, take a look at and review and talk about all these shows. One of the things that I love about not only just Netflix, but I guess all the other streaming shows is that they give these IPs a chance, whether they are original things or IPs that come from either comic books or games or books and stuff like that, like The Witcher. But it's really cool to kind of grow with the show, and I'm hoping that I'm hoping that I get to become a Witcher fan. I mean, I like the first season, but it's like I said, it was a little confusing. But season 2 seems to be great. What's his name? I'm
Henry
drawing a
Cavill?
blank. The actor.
Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill.
Yeah. He seems fantastic, and he seems like he's like one of us. So I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to more The Witcher.
If you watch like
Yeah.
behind the scenes stuff, he talks about how he like plays all the games and reads all the books, and so like he probably is the bigger nerd out of like anyone playing that character.
Totally.
Yeah.
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 Hey, I just noticed that Charlie Skywalker popped in the chat. Charlie, hope everything is good. Sending good vibes your way, and hope you can kind of at least hang out in the chat. And
indeed.
Definitely. So, yeah. So, what else are you guys watching? Justice, you watching anything on streaming? Anything that we might want to talk about?
I'm rotating through 3 different shows. Ballers, which is on HBO, which The Rock, and which is kind of funny. He just bought like the XFL, so it's kind of going hand in hand with that.
Oh,
And then I'm rewatching Naruto. I love anime. And then I'm watching Cowboy Bebop.
there you go. Cowboy Bebop. Salty. See, everybody knows about Cowboy Bebop.
I have no idea what that is.
I wanted to get back to Adam and ask you a question because I totally forgot. Are you looking forward to the New Mutants? whenever that comes out.
I mean, I'll check it out. I'm not like dying to see it, but I mean, I'll check it out for sure.
You know
Alex,
what's
Oh, you know what's something else I did watch, bro? It's kind of gets back to your area. I watched The Last Dance on Netflix.
The which one?
The Last Dance, the MJ documentary, the Bulls
Oh.
from the '90s.
Oh yeah.
That's an amazing documentary,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah. And I've been watching it just to see if I'm in any of those shots. I know I was in the background in the Rod Blagojevich documentary, the
Oh, really?
Red5 Media.
Oh, really? I watched that.
but,
I have to look for you.
Yeah, and my friend Raza, who's the president of the or the vice president of our union.
Okay.
That's funny, but yeah, I'm not really into sports. I don't watch sports. I don't, that's like one thing that just goes right over my head. But when I tune into sports documentaries, the good ones, what is it called, 20 for 20 or
30 for 30?
30
Yeah.
for 30 for I don't even
It's
know
close.
the number. But they are done very well. They're
Yeah.
they're
This is
super
kind of
good.
up that same
So,
level of quality.
Definitely finish that one up. But yeah, that's pretty cool.
I think it
Yeah.
also played to their advantage that, like, because of Corona, there was no sports going on, so that was like the
Oh,
one
yeah.
thing that everyone could tune into on Sunday to
Sure.
watch.
True.
Yeah. And like I said, I know I was listening to Salty Nerd podcast. You guys, and I think the other episode I listened to was the vampire one. So that was a lot of fun. That was I think I have not seen Fright Night.
Okay.
But dude, you the whole Robert Rodriguez discussion, I think you guys should definitely do a show just on Robert Rodriguez movies. I love his style. I love his I was a fan of his, just like Kadish, I guess. Back in the El Mariachi days.
Yeah.
I really studied like how he did it, how he shot that movie. I think he raised the money by becoming a pharmaceutical guinea pig.
Oh, wow.
In college. And he raised, I think it was like $5,000 or something. Then he went out with his friends and shot this movie, all on guerrilla filmmaking.
Yep.
And the guy that was the mariachi in the independent film is in Desperado as one of the trigger guys. So that's
He's
really awesome.
Which one was he? Was the one with the two guitar cases that were machine guns? Yeah. He is.
Robert Rodriguez is one of those directors who I really look up to. He's got, so growing up, loving Star Wars as I do, I kind of took example from George Lucas and Francis Ford Coppola, where they went out and they did their thing together, and they started Zoetrope Studios, and they bought their own editing equipment, and they kind of did it away from the studio. And that's similar to what Robert Rodriguez did. He's got a home in Texas, and he's got a like a house behind his house, which is basically his editing and production suite. So that's the kind of like pioneering creative spirit that I really really love. And Robert Rodriguez does that, and I love his films. So you guys definitely should do a series on Rodriguez films, because it's awesome.
I'd love, man. I was just completely enthralled with Desperado when I first saw it. Of course, as a young kid, watching all the the shoot 'em up bad guy stuff, Antonio Banderas and Selma Hayek. I mean, I was addicted. And then I went back and I realized that there was another movie before this that was just an independent film. I watched El Mariachi, I watched Desperado, and then later on when they finally came out with Once Upon a Time in Mexico with Johnny Depp, like that whole trilogy is just so much fun, and it's one of the reasons why I really enjoy Robert Rodriguez's movies, because he just never holds back, and I really love that about it. Yeah. And then he comes in later and works with Quentin Tarantino and does like Planet Terror and all these like really fun over the top zombie movies. Like his stuff is just it's such a. I can't even say it's a guilty pleasure because there's nothing
It's
guilty
batshit
about it.
crazy sometimes.
It's just so much fun.
Yeah. I love
Between
it.
that and then he did. What else did he do? He did.
Spy Kids.
Yeah, he did do Spy Kids. It was with. Oh, didn't he directed 300 as well? Correct. Or no, that was
Snyder.
Snyder. Wasn't he involved? I feel like he was involved in that movie somehow. Maybe I saw a documentary where there was.
I think you're thinking of
Sin City.
Sin City with Bruce Willis.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking of. Sin City is another one of those great Robert Rodriguez movies that has Frank Miller as the producer, the art style guy. So, yeah, I can't think of any Robert Rodriguez movies that I don't like that aren't kids movies.
Yeah. That's too funny. So, I want to ask all you guys, we're all doing our podcast thing. We're all doing our fan thing here. What other genre of film would you guys be doing podcasts if it weren't for, and I know Salty, you guys are not a Star Wars only podcast, but what other podcasts would you guys, or what other genre would you guys be doing if it weren't for Star Wars? Adam? Just curious. I always ask other podcasters. I know we have, obviously we have more than Star Wars in our wheelhouse, but it was just interesting to find out what everybody else likes other than just Star Wars.
I would probably do something Disney in general, so animated features, live action stuff. I mean, I everyone grew up on Disney, but I mean, I kind of stayed there, I guess. So I would do something Disney related, probably specializing with the animated features, and then breaking out in some other stuff. But yeah, Disney for me.
Are you talking about like behind the scenes, like or like film? Yeah.
Yeah, behind the scenes. I mean, anything like that. So
yeah, I love that.
Kind of has fascinated me with the advancements in animation and technology that happened through the 30s and 40s and all that stuff with the happened with Disney specifically. So
Sure.
that's where I would go, I think.
That's cool. Last summer at the Chicago Science and Industry, they had a Pixar exhibit. And you go in cool. there, and first you got to watch like this little film before you actually go into the exhibit. And I love the technology, and obviously, because of my love of the process that George Lucas employed to create the films and then create everything after that, because he's obviously the pioneer behind the technology as well. That's one thing that fascinates me. So the Pixar exhibit was really awesome. But behind the scenes of animation and the technology, showcasing the Disney films is I think what I'd listen to that. So that would be cool.
Yeah, I actually equate kind of George Lucas and Walt Disney almost together in some respects like that, just how much they wanted to push the technology because what they had available at the time didn't quite do what they wanted to do, didn't tell the stories they wanted to tell, so in that way I kind of equate them almost in a similar vein.
Yeah, definitely. Vader Girl 28 Godzilla podcast, totally. I'd do that one too, for sure. And I know Alex, you guys just did a Godzilla review 2-3 shows ago.
A couple weeks ago.
Yeah, something like that. But Justice, how about you?
We kind of do it definitely Marvel movies or superhero movies, but the other genre that I think Gary and I would really like is doing horror movies. Just how they're made, the different types of horror movies. They're from like paranormal just to slasher to thriller. Would be a lot of fun to talk about.
God, that brings me back to my high school days with my brother from another mother, Rich, who goes by Kane now. He lives in Vegas, and he's a musician / artist / I mean, he's all man of all sorts of trades. But we used to do horror movies in high school, like in our free period and stuff like that. We used to travel around with a 2-liter of fake blood. Because you never know when you're going to need it. So everything from creating molds of our heads and then stuffing it with green cooked mac and cheese to make it look like brains and stuff like that. So we had a lot of fun in high school, man.
That's
I'm
cool.
surprised we didn't get as in trouble as much as we did, but we were the kind of kids that they're like, what are they doing? They're blowing something up. Leave them alone. They're fine. So that's pretty cool.
They're not hurting nobody.
They're not hurting anybody. And like I said, Salty, you guys do a whole bunch of other things, but
Yeah.
what other kind of podcast would you guys be doing if it weren't for
If
for this?
I-
It kind of spreads the gamut there.
Yeah, if the podcast were to like pay for me to not have a day job and I just had all the time in the world to create all kinds of content, I think I would probably dive into some of the like conspiracy theory, maybe do something like that with a podcast. I love history. I love the idea that like the history that we were taught in high school isn't actually real. It's just what they want you to know. Going back in time and looking at what was actually happening versus what we were taught versus what the conspiracy theories are. I think that would be just absolutely fascinating. I love all that stuff. So I think it would be a lot of fun to get together with a couple of people who have like a really open mind. I don't know if anybody that's listening knows Graham Hancock. I believe he's been on the Joe Rogan podcast. He has a couple of documentaries out there, a couple books. I think one of them is called The Fingerprints of the Gods. But his work in diving into ancient history is just absolutely fascinating to me. So I think I would probably lean in that direction if I were to start a new podcast.
That's cool. I would do, the other franchise that I really am crazy about is Indiana Jones, but I think I would do kind of like I maybe team up with. Actually, I'd probably just team up with Brad because he's a big conspiracy guy. But the Ancient Aliens is one of my favorite shows, and it's I watch it because I love kind of seeing where they reach with their concepts. So it's really entertaining to me. So I love that show. Maybe kind of like an Ancient Aliens breakdown podcast, which would be a lot of fun.
It'd be fun to like, because I love that show too. It'd be kind of fun to go back and do like episode by episode and either debunk or credit that show with like some what their theories are. So like if there's like, of course they have this theory. One of the ones that they always talk about is like, this building would never be able to be made today. It's too precise, blah, 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 blah. Right. Like dive into that real hardcore and see if you can either debunk it or prove that they're right. Like one of those two things. I think that'd be cool to do like an episode by episode breakdown.
And perhaps answers can be found.
Yeah. I'll do it with you, buddy. That sounds like fun.
That does sound like fun. Cool. What else? What else is going on in the world?
That's a heavy question nowadays, man.
It totally is. But that's one of the reasons I'm here. I just kind of want to forget about the outside world just for a little night. I got my red wine here, and I had a lot of time this morning because I went to go change my oil, and I listened to a whole bunch of podcasts. Salty's one of them, Jedi Temple Archives, Rebel Force Radio. They were cool enough to mention ScarifCon 2020 and our event that we had. So that was a lot of fun listening to that. Jimmy Mack over at Rebel Force Radio. What other shows, what other podcasts is everybody watching? And you know what? I'm going to bring in those wacky guys over at Conversations have just joined the stream. Let's bring them on in. And then
crazy guy.
Hello. Wacky, crazy conversations. Pat and Charles, how's it going, guys?
Very good. How's everybody there doing tonight?
We're doing good. We're doing good. Just chatting here with some folks. How is everybody over there?
We are finally together after a long time. What, 5 months?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Nice.
And we're just hanging out and having supper and celebrating some birthdays and some first times together in a while. So we're having a good time tonight.
Excellent. You guys, where else in the country do they still say supper? You guys in Florida, right?
It's a Canada thing. I don't know.
We say it in Western PA.
Okay.
There you go.
Yesterday. Western.
Western. Yeah. Don't put me out there.
It's funny because my business partner, when he gets a hot dog, he says, he still says, "Can I get a hot dog with all the fixins?" And I'm like, "Fixins."
Those are all dressed, aren't they?
My hot dog always comes broken.
Awesome.
We
awesome.
actually we had supper and then we started watching Revenge of the Sith tonight, and
Yes.
the Star Wives are working on building up their watchings for the movies for
We
notes. Here's Kelly.
We have one of them.
Hi. How
What's
are
up?
you?
Good. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
We are. The rest of the world is enjoying your podcasts, your episodes. It's hilarious.
We aim to please.
They've already bested our numbers.
Yeah, exactly. We're clearly not the stars anymore at all.
They're our inspiration, so
Nice.
we try.
We paid her to say that, by the way.
Excellent.
Two credits.
Yeah.
Two. Oh man.
So we have tonight, and they're working on the next episode. They've done Attack of the Clones, so now they're on to Revenge of the
That
Sith.
was rough.
Yeah. So poor Yoda.
Poor Yoda. Oh. Guy. Oh man. What are you guys up to? How you been?
Pretty good. Pretty good. I started asking the guys. What was I asking?
What other podcast would we make if it wasn't the one that
Oh
we're
yeah,
doing?
we're discussing what other podcast would we be doing if it weren't for Star Wars. And I know, I was telling the guys that I really like my other franchise. My other go-to franchise is Indiana Jones. So maybe something like that. But I also love the show Ancient Aliens, and Alex and I might team up together to do a breakdown to debunk or confirm the theories of ancient aliens, ancient alien astronauts.
And
But,
the tie-in would be Indy 4.
Indy 4, that's right. That would be a tie-in for that.
Because he's got the aliens
there
in
you
the
go.
skulls.
Yeah.
See that?
yeah,
Yeah.
that would be a perfect tie-in. Awesome. What about
We
what
can-
would the boys of conversations be talking about if it weren't for Star Wars?
He would talk about Star Trek.
I have enough knowledge
Oh
for
yeah,
it.
the other star.
I haven't been able to do that in 5 months.
That's true.
I think probably like DC or Marvel.
Yeah, comics would probably the comics plus movies would probably be the superhero side,
Yeah.
and how they relate would be good. I think Indiana Jones would be kind of cool. I don't know how far we could get through that, but the lore and
Make enough for short round yesterday.
that's true. The franchises, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think sci-fi in general, because we're fans of a lot of the different kind of sci-fi, like Lord of the Rings, Indiana Jones. I think as a big umbrella, I think they would be able to probably do that and explore our interest in that level for sure.
Totally. Yeah, there's a lot there. There's a lot there. That's awesome. Want to say a quick shout out to folks that are just joining us in the chat. Rural Farm Boy, what's up? And Michelle.
Rural Farm Boy's in the
Smith,
chat.
What's happening? Who else is in there? Let's see. I still don't know where to put my really cool Force of Light Entertainment sticker. I'm always afraid to put stickers on things because, like, on my laptop is about to die. So if I put it on my laptop and it dies, then what?
Those covers can be taken off with force, right?
Oh yeah.
So the
That's why
backing
that's
is
why I got a nice little frame.
You have
Put
like
everybody's,
a
pot sticker in there.
yeah, you have like a shadow box of some sort, or just is it a frame with a glass front?
Yeah. That's what I
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
What about, like, how the sticker has the back on it?
Yes.
What if you like put tape on the back of it? back.
There you go. And then
Then
you
you
stick it to the
stick
surface.
there, and
Yeah.
then
There you go.
you can still.
You
Yeah.
can
Stick
remove
it
it.
anywhere and then just pop it out.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That's
Or
why
I
he's the
could just-
that's why he's the
ask-
cosplayer.
There you go. Or I could just ask them for another sticker.
That's true. He could do that.
True, right?
That's
Or
true.
a second computer. That way you can put one.
Or
You know,
a
you can
second
send
computer.
sticker.
What do you think? I'm made of money?
Yes,
Charles,
yes, he
I have
does.
I have one quick question, Pat and Charles. Where's the ladder?
I think it's back. Oh, nope. Can't do that.
Did you put the
It's,
ladder away? That's like it's
no,
almost as bad
no,
as
it's
Trevor Beast making his bed.
accessible. Okay, we'll leave it at that. It's accessible. That's it.
Awesome.
That's
it.
That's a very good question.
So the other question I had for the guys is, are you guys watching anything on Netflix or any of the other streaming services? We were just talking a little bit about Warrior Nuns and Umbrella Academy and things like that.
On Netflix, not really. Well,
What's Netflix?
what's the Disney Plus?
Oh, right, that.
That right.
The other Disney Plus thing. Yeah. No. No, I'm not watching anything. I'm super busy with not that.
We've my wife and I have done Sons of Anarchy. We started watching that through on Hulu.
That's cool.
Yeah. And you know, between the Force of Light Entertainment podcast and Alex's Salty Nerd, this movie obsessive need to watch the guys you just talked about.
I heard every other syllable.
Yeah, I didn't catch any of that, guys.
Okay.
So,
It's for the best. Don't worry about it.
It really is. Trust me.
Trust me.
So I wanted to ask all you guys, and I posted this on the Red 5 Network Twitter account. What other podcasts are you listening, if any, that you guys might want to give a shout out that are not part of the Red 5 Network? Anything that you guys are listening to that that we might want to check out?
That are not part of the Red 5 Network. I've been listening to Radio Rebellion.
Okay.
Alberto puts on a good show.
Yeah, I want to do I've been wanting to do a Spanish show with him.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be cool. I was listening to Death Star Dispatch. It's a newer show. I think they've done about 2 episodes so far.
We were on the second one.
Yeah. I listened to that. It was a lot of fun. So,
Anybody else? Other podcasts?
I listened to the Stegman Show. It's hosted by Ryan Stegman, who's a comic book artist.
Okay,
So you
cool.
get to look at behind the scenes of how he writes or he draws for Venom. And then, I mean, it's a popular one, but Wizard and the Bruiser is always fun to listen to. They do like a breakdown of like popular pop culture things and kind of the history of how that all came together. So I listened to one on, I guess, Naruto, Cowboy Bebop. They did one on like Freddy versus Jason. There's just a bunch of different ones, so it's a lot of fun to listen to.
That's cool. Awesome.
For our most recent post from Thursday, I'll just list the first 3 here that aren't part of our network. We have It's True All of It.
Yes.
Dale and Michael from It's True All of It. We had Beyond the Outer Rim, Ross and John. We listened to them. And a new show as well, Carbonite Conversations or Carbonite Convos. We just started listening to them as well. And you know, that's one of the great things about the community is where there's always a great way of discovering new shows and great, you know, interpretations and different viewpoints. We also listened to Sisters with Sabers. That was a recent one we started listening to. What are some of the other ones we've done? We've been on. There's just little podcast. It's really cute. The host is, he's a nice guy. Jedi Temple Archives podcast. Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe.
Rob is his name.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
the Rob Show.
The Rob Show.
That's what
There
it
you
is.
go.
My autocorrect, whenever I type something in the message, if I say Rob something, my autocorrect always corrects it to rib. And one day
See,
I'm
mine
gonna
always
send
corrects
that
it. Mine always corrects it to rub. I don't know.
I guess either of the three are fine.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to care.
No, he doesn't care at all.
As long as he gets a mention somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah. What about you, Alex, over at the Salty Nerd Podcast? I know you guys are busy growing like I was gonna say cancer, but we want to stay away from that fucking word. But you guys are
Growing
are
like Vito
like
portrayed.
weeds out there, man, with your with your show. But what, are you guys listening to anything? I know you probably don't have time.
I really don't. Like, I don't have a job right now, and that's usually when I used to listen to all my podcasts was at work. And I don't do that anymore. I'm constantly editing. We do about 12 hours of content per month. So I'm
Wow.
constantly sitting down editing new episodes. We do exclusive Patreon episodes every week. We're busy, and we're going to start doing live streams on Saturday mornings now. So
Yeah, you just added a new Saturday gig, right?
yeah. So as long as I'm not like occupied with actual employment, I'm doing salty nerd stuff. So
Unemployment sucks. It's overrated.
unemployment, like I hope that someday that this podcast can pay me and pay my rent and stuff. But as for now I'm just trucking away. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we're all gonna need tons of Patreons because it's not only rent, it's food and transportation and health insurance. So anybody in the chat
And Star Wars toys.
And toys,
Right.
right.
It's true.
Yeah,
Anybody in the chat want to give us some cheddar?
I gotta decorate
know.
my back wall over there so it looks legit. all I have is this. This is all I have.
Well, that's a good start.
Yeah.
And I see you're making great use of it.
Yeah, I wear it now because everybody has to wear a mask in public nowadays. So I just wear my helmet. I went grocery shopping the other day. Wore my helmet the whole time. When I got in coffee this morning, I was wearing my helmet.
Nice.
It's like if we're gonna
You need
do
one
this,
of those
if we're
long
gonna-
straws that goes up behind it.
yes,
The bendy
yes.
You gotta get a bend.
That's how to do it.
Michael says he live streams, so he doesn't have to edit too much. But I was gonna ask you guys what your edit schedules look like. What do you guys use to edit? Just out of curiosity. Adam?
I use Audacity because it's free and I'm broke.
No shame there, man.
Yeah, editing for me is usually we record on Saturday afternoons, so editing for me is usually a Saturday night thing. So.
I use Charles.
He's free and you're broke.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. And Charles tends to use Audition.
Nice. And you know what? Alex is doing something cool too. So, you guys have a what do you call it? Help me out here. Your server, your where you invite people to watch you edit.
Discord?
Yeah. I couldn't remember the freaking name. You guys have a Discord server, and sometimes you invite people and watch you edit, right? He fell asleep. You froze there, Alex. Come
Doesn't
back
the
to
Red
us,
5
Alex.
Network has a Discord? We have a Discord too, don't we?
Yeah, but nobody wants to watch us edit.
It's true. Yeah, didn't you set up a Discord? I thought there was a Discord.
Maybe Brad.
Do we
did.
have one?
Maybe I did. I
Did you
just
guys?
don't remember.
I'm not in it if we have one.
There was, I think, about 7 or 8 messages, and then it sort of died out. But it's one of those things where you have to, post in there, and you have questions, and it's cool. But
We
it's
have
sort of
one.
something to
We have
do.
one for our show. I love using Discord for stuff.
Yeah, it's just one that we're on a lot of group chats, on Twitter, and
Mm.
we do everything on Twitter that I always forget. I mean, the Scarif Scuttlebutt podcast for a while had a Discord server, and I just never go to it because everything that I do on Twitter, I think like in my mind, it's like it's right there anyway. So if you have to ask me a question, you can do it on Twitter. I've got, I don't know, I scroll through so many conversations between the Salty Nerd crew and the Red 5 crew and some of my friends. It's pretty crazy. So there was one time I think it was like 3 months, and then I went back to the Discord server, and our friend Shannon Smith is like, "Hello." You still in here? So yeah, that's funny, man. What else is happening? What are you guys looking forward to with anything Star Wars? Justice, what are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to the Charles Soules book that's coming out at the end of the year. The what is it? The Force of Light or Jedi? I'm blanking right now. I'm sorry.
Just the High Republic, the first one.
Yeah, the High Republic book.
the
I'm
High
sorry. Yeah,
Republic.
that's what it is.
Light of the Jedi, right? Is that Light of the Jedi?
I don't know. I can look it up.
I'm looking it up. Yeah, Light of the Jedi.
Yeah, I pre-ordered it, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Excellent. Vader Girl 28 says Mando 2. I'm looking forward to Mando 2 also as well too. But I think one of the things that I'm looking forward to is the Cassian Andor series. Probably more so than Obi-Wan. You know,
I'm looking forward to Obi-Wan.
Rogue One gave us a nice taste of how the rebellion, kind of like the offshoot of the rebellion and Saga era and stuff like that. So I'm really looking forward to seeing a little bit more of that. You saw a little bit of that in Solo, how the Empire was working with the criminal underground and all that stuff. So I'm hoping that we get to see a little bit more of the gray area when it comes to the rebellion, because I think that'll make for good drama. Adam, what about you?
I think I'm gonna have to kind of go with Justice a little bit and say the High Republic in general. I've been really waiting for like a big publishing initiative, and so I'm super excited for everything. I'm gonna get into everything with that. I'm gonna get into the young adult stuff, into the even Claudia Gray. I forget if she's doing a young adult or she's actually doing like a grade school level one, but I'm gonna just get into the whole thing, comics and all.
She's doing young adult.
Is hers adult?
No, just young adult.
Young adult, okay.
Yeah.
Justina Ireland then might have the one that's the grade.
And then Kevin's doing the comic, and Charles is doing the adult book, and then Justin Ireland is doing the really young one, and I think Daniel is doing a younger comic as well.
Yeah. And then that's just wave one. They talked about they said that was just wave one. So I'm all in through the whole thing.
Yeah. Somebody's feedback sounds like a probe droid in the background.
Ion cannon control.
Oh man.
What are you looking forward
I'll throw
to?
another one in. Actually, I'm going to throw another one in real quick. The second Jedi Fallen Order game, whenever that happens. It's probably a few years out, but
I enjoyed the comic book. I talked a little bit about the comic book, and hold on a second, let's get Salty back in there. Little internet issues there, Salty.
Yeah, CenturyLink sucks. Like if I gave CenturyLink a review on Yelp,
one thing for Star Wars I'm looking forward to is the reopening of Galaxy's Edge to our annual passes.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes, there's that. I'm looking forward to, well, we're going to be making s'mores with the kids in about half an hour.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to reliving that whole Mustafar scene and that sort of thing.
You mean after
Should
you're
be-
done with after you're done with supper?
Yes.
Yes. Well, supper already happened in the 1830s.
Okay.
I gotta go to the cobbler tomorrow.
Internet issues. Salty, let's skip over to you. What kind of things are you looking forward to? Maybe not just in Star Wars, but in entertainment news in general. Any movies? Well, okay. Any movies that you're looking forward to, and besides Jurassic?
Oh man.
But you know what though? Let's talk about that because you know the some of the old characters are returning for that film, and I'm really excited to see what they do with these classic characters. I want to see how they all die.
Not gonna happen.
I think they just,
We've got it on good authority. Colin Trevorrow himself said that he is not bringing these characters back just to watch them die. So I
That's
think we're
awesome.
safe. I think we're safe.
So, needless to say, you're looking forward to that coming back.
Absolutely. Yeah, we just got a Laura Dern put a picture out on Instagram of her seat. It says Dr. Ellie Sattler, and then next to Dr. Alan Grant. So it's pretty exciting to see these legacy characters come back, and I'm a big fan of Colin Trevorrow, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does.
That's awesome. So,
And even like Dallas Howard posted pictures of all the bruises she's gotten from doing the stunts with Chris Pratt. So it seems like the work they're putting in is really crazy.
Yeah,
it's cool.
yeah. This movie, it's got big shoes to fill, but I think it's going to be a ton of fun.
I thought that thing. I'm sure everyone saw it. The Sam Neill shot where he took a snapshot of his hat, I think, and he said "Hello, old boy" or something like that. It was very, very cool to see that.
That's neat.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him back. Sorry, I can't tell if I'm glitching out or if you're. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, I'm very excited to see these classic characters come back. I'm looking forward to seeing them on the big screen again. It holds a special place in my heart. So I'm kind of biased. Like, I know people kind of rag on these movies, but I love them to death. I can't criticize them at all.
I've had fun watching each one of them. I mean, I can't.
same here.
You know.
Gotta love dinosaurs.
Yeah,
Man,
it's Jurassic Park. It's fun.
peace, love, dinosaurs, baby.
There you go.
Peace
I just
love
noticed,
dinosaurs.
Alex. I just noticed that Alex shaved. Last time I saw you, I think you had facial hair.
Yeah. I had a good 3 months of growth, and I had a moment of weakness. I was kind of like down on my luck, and I wasn't feeling too great. I'm like, this is stupid. What am I doing? And I shaved it off. I regret that now.
That's okay. That's okay. What else is going on, guys?
I'm curious to know, because I don't know if this is like a taboo subject for other podcasters, but like, I'm pretty new to this. I'm curious what everybody's like numbers look like on a weekly or a daily basis per episode. What's your target versus what is your average view? Do you guys have numbers like that? Do you keep track of that stuff?
Scarif does. And, you know, we probably don't release stuff as regularly as you guys. As far as like weekly numbers, you know, 40, 50 maybe. But I don't look at the weekly numbers for the most part. I'll look at them if I accidentally like click on the weekly stats, but I just kind of go down through the episodes and look at like totals.
Mm-hmm.
And I think weekly, I guess depending on, what did I say?
You said
50.
40 or 50.
Yeah.
What did I say?
I think it's, you know.
Brad
I think
keeps
at the
track of the
most it's
numbers for
20.
them.
I think it's like maybe at the most it's like 20
What did I say?
a week.
Wait, what were we talking about?
I think, you know, if the Scarif Scuttlebutt did more episodes, obviously there's more content for people to download. Our numbers will probably be higher, like weekly. But we do like at best we do like 2, maybe 3 a month.
Yeah.
But overall, I think we get good numbers. Um, you know, we get really good numbers like when we release an episode, they shoot up like right away. And then they start to level off, but people are still finding old episodes, so that's really cool.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I don't mind sharing our numbers, but I just have what Anchor tells me. So it estimates our audience size at like 32, which has been going up each week a little bit. So, and then as far as plays go, we're kind of the same boat. We're like normal weeks, probably like 40 to 50. We had a stupid high week last week for some reason. We had like 81 last week.
Nice.
But yeah, that's about where we are too.
That's cool. I was looking up some information. We use Buzzsprouts that tracks all of our information and all our downloads and stuff. And according to them, the average podcast in the good range is about 50 downloads per episode. So if you're in that range, 50 to 60, you're on par with most other podcasts that are out there. So I thought that was really encouraging because for a while I was like, man, I feel like I should be getting more, or I feel, we're putting out content every week. I was hoping it would snowball, but when I read that, I was like, oh, okay. So we're like we're right there for your average podcast, about 50 downloads per episode or so. So I thought that was really cool.
Per episode or per
Yeah.
week?
Per episode.
That's interesting.
So yeah, it's a lot lower than I expected it to be.
It's a lot lower because we get, and again, I don't mind sharing our stuff. Our we average, like when I notice that it starts leveling off, we average about 177
That's
per
great.
episode.
Yeah.
I want to, obviously I want to do a lot more because I love seeing those numbers grow, but 50 does seem like low. I mean,
That's what, they said average. So, I mean, you're
Average,
taking,
yeah.
You're
taking
just
into
above average, bro. That's all.
yeah.
why, thank
You taking into consideration guys like Joe Rogan who get millions of downloads
Yeah.
versus some
Yeah,
podcast about gardening in a potted plant that gets like 3 downloads. So you have to, you have to take that into consideration.
Yeah, and we're coming in the same,
That's Pat and Charles's favorite podcast, the planting of.
Botany Weekly.
Yes.
It's really, really good. They're actually growing green beans right now, and the excitement is palpable.
Yeah. We're
The excitement is Palpatine.
ooh, the Palpatine. We have very similar numbers in those average numbers for each of our episodes, and we'll see those numbers average out because we do a show every 2 weeks, and they'll take about 2 weeks to get to those numbers. And but with Ro was saying is that the growth with old episodes increases the overall plays of all of our shows. So there's increase. You can sort of see plays overall per week or low, whatever. We use Anchor as well, and their algorithms, for the different platforms are calculated differently and sort of play into it differently as well. But just to see the overall growth is cool.
Yeah. We had a banner week last week. I think I posted it on Twitter. We had 837 downloads in 1 week in 7 days.
Wow.
And I was like,
Crazy.
what?
That's pretty cool.
That is insane. So I went back and I looked. On average, each one of our episodes was getting about 50 to 60 downloads. But then on a Thursday, like a random Thursday, which we don't release content on Thursdays. We release on Mondays and Fridays. On a Thursday, we had like 180 downloads. And then on Sunday, we had almost 200. And it just like blew up that whole week. And I was like, what the heck happened? I'm like trying to figure out what's going on. And like you guys said, that backlog of episodes, it wasn't the new stuff. The new stuff was still average 50, 60. The old stuff was getting tacked on top of all of that. I was like, this is freaking cool, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like today, I listened to 2 of your episodes in a single day, and I'm sure people do that all the time.
Yeah.
Because Rural Farm Boy has quite a list of podcasts that he listens to, and obviously he can't listen to all of them on the day of release, so he's got to go back and then kind of, it cascades. So We're even getting numbers on our very first episode back in April, which is really cool because you get new followers that kind of find you and they go back and listen to some of the older episodes, so that's really cool. Um, but it's definitely a wacky time because I used to listen to a lot more podcasts pre-COVID than I do now because I'm not driving to and fro, which I totally thought it would be the opposite since I'm not at work as much. But you know, other priorities, took the front stage. So yeah,
Hey,
it is a weird time.
we're gonna have to say good evening. We have the Padawans are getting a bit stir crazy over here for their s'mores, so we're gonna say good evening and thanks for having us on.
Yeah, no problem. May the force be with you. Have a s'more for me.
Everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Awesome. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, it's kind of a weird time, especially the market is so saturated too that there's not enough ears. But I'm glad that you guys are getting numbers. I'm glad that people are listening, and anything Red 5 Network can do to help. Again, just kind of hit me up in a DM, and I love just retweeting and promoting and interacting with all of you guys.
I see a lot of people in the comments are saying that they use Anchor for their podcasts. I've heard of Anchor, but I've never looked into like how that all works. Does anybody have any experience with that platform?
We
I
used to
used
use
Anchor
Buzzsprout.
years ago with my first podcast on collecting. Sorry, Adam.
No, that's fine.
I didn't like it because it was very limited. I mean, I used it I think first on my phone, and it's got like little tools that you can add like background music and you can do some editing and stuff like that. But obviously, I'm an editor by trade, so it was too limiting for me. But it is free. Yeah, you can you can actually ask somebody else to be like a co-host or a guest, and as long as they have Anchor, you guys can do it, similar, on your mobile devices. So it works for a lot of people, and it is free.
Yeah, it's nice for that stuff. I mean, you can also just upload a regular episode. You can edit it and then just upload a whole a whole file, which is what we do. Since we we don't use Anchor to record. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
And
but
you
I
don't
mean,
have to pay for it.
Yeah, it's free. So I mean,
we used to use Buzzsprout, and then we realized that Anchor is free, and so it was easy. We just transferred everything over from Buzzsprout to Anchor, and it was a smooth transition. And then you can also put in ads, so like you could start making some change on the videos that you're currently making.
Yeah, they give you like you can do an Anchor ad right off the bat, and so that pays you like a I think it's like a penny a listen. So I mean, there's a little bit of they also have support built in, which is nice. Some other platforms charge a higher tier for that type of stuff, but they do have fan support. You can kind of do like almost like a mini Patreon thing.
Cool.
But yeah, it's free for unlimited hosting with them is nice, and that's why we switched. So.
Right on.
Because we were using Podbean and paying like $15 a month, I think, for and that was limited hosting. So not that we ever reached that limit, but just free to not have to worry about it was the way to go for us.
I use SoundCloud because that's
what we started on. Yeah.
So I had all my old stuff on SoundCloud when this was pre Scuttlebutt. But and I just kind of stuck with it, paid for it for the year, and forgot about it. But
how are the analytics on Anchor? Do they keep track of all your numbers and where they come from, or is it just
they're all right? They break it down by they do try to break it down by device and by platform. I would say it's maybe a little bit general, a little bit basic, but better than what I thought I was getting with SoundCloud, at least.
Mm-hmm.
And we weren't with Podbean long enough for me to really remember what theirs was like. But I mean, for me, I guess it's good enough as far as analytics go.
I would venture to say it's a little more accurate than Buzzsprout, because they have
Really?
like this weird like formula they were using, and I felt like when we moved to Anchor, it gave us a more like actual of what we're like, how many people we are having each week listening to our stuff. So
Yeah.
Like it does show me right now. I'm looking at it right now, and it shows me as far as platforms go. You can look at either apps or by device. So Apple Podcast is 55%, and then it gives me Spotify, Podcast Addict, Overcast. And then it can show me iPhone, Android, Windows, Mac, what devices people are using. So,
and with Spotify, you can figure out how long actually people are listening to
Yeah.
your podcast, which is really cool. So
and
like,
also
you know,
age and demographics too, a little bit with Spotify now.
Yeah, we're on Spotify too. We're actually because Spotify seems to be getting ready to be poised to like push back on YouTube a little bit. We're focusing a lot on Spotify. We're making sure we're getting our numbers in there, and we're even running a short little 30-second ad on Spotify right now to try to get more listeners, and it's got a huge return. It was crazy. Like Kadish handles most of that information, and I recorded the ad and I edited it and I gave it to him, and he put it out there on Spotify, and we're getting like 2 out of every 10 or 2 out of every 7 clicks gets a subscriber. So we went from like a handful of subscribers on Spotify. I think now we're pushing like 300 or something, which was really cool. It was really, really awesome to see that our work and our effort going towards Spotify was actually paying off. And once they start doing video on Spotify, we're going to try and be poised to do a live show while we record the podcast available on Spotify, because we like the idea. Like YouTube's been real sketchy lately with their censorship and copyright claims and all this other nonsense that has nothing to do with like content creators. It has everything to do with politics. So like we don't really want to rely on YouTube. So we're looking for an alternative. And I think Spotify is going to be the way to go for us. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in the next year or so. Hopefully we can jump on that train early and it'll help us take off.
Ro, if you don't mind me asking, is there a fee that you have to pay for StreamYard, or like is that like a free service or
StreamYard?
Yeah, StreamYard. Sorry.
Yeah, there's a free plan, and there are 2 paid plans that offer you different things. So I tried the free plan just to kind of test it out a little bit, and it seemed great. They keep adding like little features here and there. I am on I think it's $20 a month. But for me, it was worth it because I can customize all the graphics. I can add whatever I wanted to. Obviously, I'm a big graphics guy, so I'm able to create animated things and things like that for the for the Scarif lives. So it works out pretty well for me. I mean, the free one is really great too, and I can't remember what the limitation of the free one, other than StreamYard's logo instead of the Scarif logo, and some other stuff that are non-branded to you. But once you jump into that paid version, you really can do anything on screen here. They just added green screen support. They just added instead of 6 people on screen, you can have 10 people. So little by little, they start adding cool little things. So it's worth it for me.
That's cool. I when the last time we did it, I was super intrigued by it. Like you were letting people jump in and out of the video, so you just wanted to ask about that.
Yeah, for sure. And if you guys ever wanted to try, it's like I said, the sign up for the free one. It's great. Just try it out. Again, I can't remember what the limitations were, but I know there's other services out there. StreamYard. I don't know how I found out about. Drunk 3PO uses StreamYard, and I just kind of looked at it and looked into it myself, and I liked it. But yeah, use the free one. Check it out. Try it out. It's an interesting bag of tricks.
Cool.
That's cool.
I know you guys,
I've been
Salty. You guys are doing something on Saturday. Are you using video, or is it just a audio podcast?
Yeah, no, it's video. It'll be like this. So we're going to record live, talk about the new Star Trek TV show. I think Kadish also has the paid version of Streamlabs or whatever this is called, and we're gonna hop on his account, but then route it through Salty Nerds YouTube channel, and we'll go live on Saturday. And I think once we're done, I'm not sure what the timeline is when we're gonna do it, but we're gonna basically just like rip the MP3 off of the YouTube channel and upload it as a separate podcast. So we'll kind of, because we don't want to leave out, because I know our YouTube presence is like nothing compared to what we get on like iTunes and stuff. So we don't want to leave that demographic out. So we're gonna try and hit it on both ends. So I don't know. We'll see if it works out. We're trying to grow our presence on YouTube because that's, obviously it's a big money maker for chats, and it also gets you a lot of eyeballs because YouTube is such a huge platform right now. Just because there's really no alternative to it. So it'll be good trying to grow the channel and trying to break off in other subjects. And we thought this the Star Trek show was just controversial enough for us to kind of stir the pot a little bit and jump in on it and have some fun. It was actually my co-host Matt Vader's idea to do it. He was talking to us and he's like, guys, I think we really need to jump in on this. And I was kind of like, I'm still a little nervous about jumping into the YouTube gang because it's not really my thing. And I noticed like when you get into that circle, it's very like clicky. And I feel like there's a lot of people who are out there just like looking to like dig at you. And I'm like, I don't want that. Like, I'm not here for this kind of, I just want to put out some fun content. So I'm a little worried about it. I really don't want to step on anybody's toes, or I don't want to have somebody trying to troll me or anything. So I don't know. We'll see. We're going to have some fun. We're gonna explore YouTube and see how it goes.
Just remember to download the material after you finish recording it within 7 days, because after that, StreamYard takes it off. So if like right now, if we weren't going live and we were just recording internally, after 7 days, it boots it off the system.
It doesn't save it to your doesn't save it to your YouTube channel.
Yeah, it'll be on the YouTube channel, but
okay.
Let's say you weren't broadcasting. Like sometimes we'll do a show where I'll edit afterwards, and I don't want to broadcast it. I did that with which show was that? Aubrey Eden Dukes. She came. We recorded a podcast, and that's how we did it. Like 8 days later, I came back to want to download it and edit it, and it was gone. And I had to call her back and say, sorry, I got to do it again. But, yeah, learning the hard way. But, don't worry about YouTube. Just have fun. Do your thing. You're definitely going to get picked apart by the clickbaiters. But that's all jealousy, man. That's all it is.
Nobody's got anything to be jealous about me. I think our YouTube presence gets like 5 views per video, and that's just because of the group chat that we have on Twitter. Our YouTube presence is like nothing. It's not even considerable compared to what we do on like iTunes and stuff. So
yeah, that's definitely
I don't know. Go ahead.
Paper.
I don't remember what I was going to say. Go ahead.
No, that's definitely why one of the reasons that I stopped doing the Scarab Scuttlebutt podcast version on YouTube, because really, I just put up a graphic and then just let it go, but wasn't really worth it.
Yeah, YouTube is a very visual platform. Like if it's not interesting for people to watch, it tends to not really get as many views unless you're already a big name. And you're transferring your content, like then your listeners might switch over to YouTube. But like just trying to start out a small podcast, it's really, and don't even like, I feel so bad for Kadish because he handles the video editing, and he's been trying to make it more visually interesting by having like movie clips and stuff like that. But the algorithm on YouTube is so strict. I think literally they will copyright claim you if you have a single clip from a movie that's more than 5 seconds long. If it's more than 5 seconds, copyright claimed right away. I'm like, that's so crazy to me.
Audio too. Actually, we were instantly muted which is tough when you're only uploading an audio.
Yeah.
But we were instantly muted because I forgot to mute the background track that we were using at one point, which kind of ruined the whole video. So
That's interesting because you guys have heard the Scare podcast. We drop in so much
Yeah.
music on there, and the very first time that we got not muted but flagged was like episode like 19 or something like that. It was just recent, and I think
Yes.
it's because I started with the Imperial March. Usually it's something else, right? And the algorithm doesn't go. I don't know. I don't know how it works, but the at this time the Imperial March was like right at the top, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, can't do that." I'm
Yeah.
like, "Damn, I forgot."
Star Wars is like a different beast, though. I feel like they're a little bit more lenient on Star Wars creators because unless you're like for you guys specifically, the Scarif podcast, like you guys drop sound bites and quotes from the movie and music and all this other stuff, and I don't know how often you get claimed, but like, I mean, we did
Never.
a podcast. We did a podcast on Jupiter Ascending. It's like a big box office bomb, and WB copyright claimed that video. I think a total of like 19 times. We had to go back and edit it and try and like figure out what their copy because they won't tell you. They just say, "Oh, it's
Yeah.
copyright claims." So you have to go back like, "Oh, how long was this segment or was there any music in this?" It's crazy, man. It's irritating and because I already really don't like YouTube, I would have washed my hands of it by now, but Kadish is adamant. He's like, "We got to do YouTube, man. We got to do YouTube."
That's funny.
So, I don't know. Hopefully Spotify is a little bit easier going. I'm looking forward to when they start doing video over there.
Nice. What else, guys? We've been talking for about an hour and change, and everybody in the chat, thank you guys for joining us. Any final thoughts on absolutely nothing?
What do you guys think of Disney Plus releasing like Mulan and potentially Black Widow for an extreme amount of money?
I saw that, and I know right off the bat I would not pay an extra $30 to watch Milan. But they did announce that it's not just to rent it; it's to have it.
It's to own
But
it.
yeah,
It's to
Oh,
own it
is
on
that? Okay, I
on
misunderstood
yeah.
that. Okay.
Yeah.
It's
It
to
was a
own it on
second
a platform that you already pay for that will have this movie available to you in like a couple of months. So it's real weird. Like
yeah.
I think
I wonder if that like would end up on movies anywhere. Like I wonder if somehow like that purchase would transfer over. If it did, then I'd be a little more interested. I mean, I think it's a little expensive. Just I mean, I watched Trolls 2 for my daughter. We got that when that came out, and that was only like $20, so a little more reasonable. Um, I don't know that I don't have a problem with the price, but I don't know if I'm going to get it just because I can wait a little bit for Milan. I think.
I mean, for me, movies like that, I don't mind paying like an extra $10, $20 versus 30 because they're high production value, they're high
Yeah,
concept and stuff like
right.
that. Like if they wanted $30 for like a drama or something that is not where I don't see where the money went other than just paying the actors, and I wouldn't do it. But I'm still kind of like an old media guy. I still want to own my discs. I still want to have them. I do have Disney streaming and Disney Plus and some of the other stuff, but I still like owning discs.
yeah. Yeah, it's tough, man. Things are changing, and I think theaters are hurting pretty bad right now. And I feel bad because if you look at it from a business perspective, like these theater owners, these the franchise guys that open up an AMC or they spend their money and they open up whatever chain theater, they're going to be hurting real bad. And I don't like the idea of them dropping these movies on streaming at a $30 price tag. That seems a bit steep. The only way I could see that is like if you do like a pay-per-view thing where you get a bunch of people over and you all watch it together and everybody chips in $5, then yeah, it kind of makes sense, But just to pay $30 to watch something on your TV screen, that's not really my bag. I really want to see theaters. We talked about this today on the podcast a little bit, but like my personal opinion is I want to see theaters up their game in the technology department, because right now you can pretty dang close to recreate a theater experience in your own home with technology today, between surround sound and giant 75-inch 4K TVs. Like it really, if you look at it and you break down the costs, it doesn't cost that much to do that. So I want to see theaters come in with just this brand new tech, whether it's like the peripheral vision 3D screens that I think it's called View X or X something, X screen or whatever. I think a couple of theaters around have it, where it's like a full 360 view and you feel like you're in the movie. Like that type of thing, I want to see more of. There's going to be a change in the market. I don't want to see theaters disappear completely, but I do think they need to step up their game.
In other words, just offer something that you just can't have at home.
Exactly. Yeah. Which has been consistent. You think about it in the, 30 years ago or 40 years ago when Star Wars came out, like you had tiny little TVs. You were never going to recreate that experience at home.
Sure.
It has to be the next step. There's got to be that evolution of technology. So.
And it can't just be like popcorn and a drink or something like that, or candy, because you can totally get that like right next street or down the street at the gas station. Like it's got to be, like you were saying, something with tech, something that visually grabs you, makes you want to go there because you can't have it at home.
Yeah, exactly. I think if anything's going to push theaters to invest that kind of money in new technology, it's going to be this freaking coronavirus lockdown thing where, like, okay, we're going to need to figure out a way either around like the whole social distancing stuff, whether you're going to have like private box seats. I think there was a concept where there was 4 seats per like little, so it kind of looked like the Senate from Star Wars, where they were like these little pods,
right,
and they were kind of stacked up. I thought that was a really interesting idea. It's great. You can allow people to social distance while still having the theater experience. And of course you have the big giant screen that takes up the full view. I'd like to see them push the technology in the 3-dimensional direction. I know 3D with the glasses kind of flopped. Like it's still around, but it's kind of wishy-washy on whether or not it's popular. I think they need to go into another direction where maybe they have some kind of a projection screen from a couple different angles that gives it that depth without having to use glasses.
Yeah, what about, getting back to the $30 price tag? I mean, you take a family of 4, by the time you're done paying for parking, popcorn, snacks, tickets, you're spending well over $30. So for big families, I guess, it does kind of make, sound like a good deal, $30 for a movie. You can stay at home and watch it. But
yeah, I mean, my family's only a family of 3, me, my wife, and my daughter. And even in a more rural area that I live in, it's easily $10 a ticket. So, I mean, right there, unless I plan around like a cheap movie night or something like that, I mean, right there, that's the price of going to a movie. And then I don't have to pay $20 for a bucket of popcorn or whatever it is now. So,
$50 for an R2D2 bucket of popcorn, like I paid for.
That's so crazy.
For Rise of Skywalker. I just had to have it. Hey, Alberto's here from Radio Rebellion. Hello, how's it going? We gave you a shout out earlier because people were talking about you, but definitely got to get together and do a podcast in Espanol, mi amigo. So that would be a lot of fun. Again, just I think $30 for a movie like Mulan, a movie like Scarlet Witch, or what's not Scarlet,
Black Widow.
Black Widow. I would be okay with that because, like I said, it there's a production value there. It's a genre film. It's something that's kind of bigger than life. Yeah, it's definitely steep, though, for a service that you already have. I thought they were just going to kind of pop it in there and then hope that people would jump on the subscription wagon instead of paying or having their current subscribers pay more money for it. It's not.
I mean, I already paid for 3 years of Disney Plus, so I'm not even paying for a month of it. So that doesn't really affect me as much, I guess, because I already did that up front. Yeah. So. And if I actually own it, then I feel better about $30. I spent $20 on Trolls 2, and then it just disappeared after 3 days. So,
oh, that's rough.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I
wait,
thank my daughter for that one.
yeah, the same thing happens when you go to the theater, though. I guess if you take your
Yeah,
daughter and
right,
your
sure.
so
Yep.
it does kind of come out in the wash if you really think about it in that direction. But just something about it, man, just like you're not getting that experience. Like I feel like Mulan, like watching some of the trailers and learning about how they made the movie and stuff like that, that looked like it was going to be like a really visually striking film. And I'd hate for that to be kind of like squandered on a 60-inch TV as opposed to a 60-foot TV. So
I think for
Totally
me, it's
agree.
just there's been a lot of controversy behind the Mulan movie, just like with the
Yeah.
directions they've gone, and like just I don't know if any of it's true or whatnot, but just how everything is played out. That I'm not like super interested to see it. I'm waiting for it just to come out like for free on Disney Plus in maybe like 6 months or something like that. Or
yeah,
after
that's
after they release it.
That's a big thing too. I know there's controversy with the actress who plays Mulan. She kind of like towed the line on the political side with China, which wasn't really a good look for her. But I don't think she really had much of a choice, to be honest with you. But
Yeah, that's always just a double-edged sword.
yeah. So it's definitely weird, and I know that they were banking on the Chinese market for this film to make bank, but who knows what's going to happen with that now? So it's a strange time, man. It's really weird right now for theaters and for movies and content like that.
Yeah, for everything.
I think overseas they have like a limit where movies can only be like 2 hours long, and after that you can't like keep it in the theater because of everything that's going on.
Oh, interesting.
What else we got, Ro?
Awesome. What else? What else you guys got? I think I'm good.
Okay.
I emptied my red wine, and I'm ready to go. No, there's still some in there. But yeah, guys, thanks for hanging out with us here on Red5 Live on the Red5 Podcast Network. I forgot to do this. Whose wonderful voice is that, I wonder? But thank you, everyone, for joining us on just a little Friday night hangout. Any questions from the chat before we take off? I know we've been at it for about 90 minutes now. Just having fun talking about anything, really. Didn't really have a topic, but thank you guys for joining us. I know we had some latecomers there, but join us in... join us on Twitter and everywhere else you see the Red5 Network. Obviously, I am one of the folks over at the Scare of Scuttlebutt podcast. Alex, it seems like we got to get you back on too to do another deep dive with all three of us real soon. So
Yeah.
we'll get that done as well. Adam, let everybody know where they can find you guys.
Yeah, from a certain point of view.com website will take you to pretty much anything. Twitter is a great place to interact with us. So that's a certain POV pod. Yeah, one of those two places will get you where you need to go.
Awesome. Justice, you're up.
You could find Powers Podcast on Twitter at Powers Podcast. You could find me at JTAUMAN5. And yeah, we're on Twitter, and we're also on Anchor, where you can find all our different streaming areas.
Excellent. The Salty Nerd, Alex, where can they find you, and what is coming up with your show?
You can find me at salty_nerd on Twitter and pretty much every other platform, Instagram, all that nonsense. What's coming up for us? We're doing, let's see, what's coming out next will be, is today Friday? There was a podcast that dropped today. I forget what the subject was.
I know you guys are so busy and entrenched with everything. Are you doing for your the Star Trek thing? Are you guys doing that live on Saturday, or is it pre-recorded?
No. Oh, come on.
Come on, internet. Come on, internet.
Oh.
Oh,
Such a bad time.
that sucks. Anyways, we'll definitely find out what is going on over at the Salty Nerd Podcast If he doesn't come back, please follow my friend Alex over at The Salty Nerd. He's got a great team. They talk about movies and TV shows and everything that's interesting to all of us nerds. This is Ro from the Scarif Scuttlebutt podcast. Thank you, everyone, for joining me on the Red 5 Network Live. We'll talk to you guys later. See you in the internet, out there in the world. See you guys. Thank you.